Hello and welcome to the muscular system. We are still in support systems, so we started with the skeletal system that provides structure and shape, and then now we're on the muscular system that also supports the body because it allows those bones to move and provides some protection as well. So let's talk specifically about the jobs or functions of the muscular system. So the first function that you need to know is kind of a not common word. You've probably never heard it before, but I'll explain it to you. It's called thermogenesis. So thermo means heat and genesis means production of. So it literally means heat production. Your muscles create heat. When a muscle contracts, it creates a byproduct or like a waste product of heat. That is one of the results of the muscle contracting. So when your muscles contract, it makes you feel warmer. You're warming yourself from the inside out. When you go outside on a cold day and you put on a jacket, the reason the jacket makes you warm is not because the jacket itself is warm, but because as your muscles release that heat, instead of it being released through the skin, like it often would be, instead that jacket holds it next to your skin and keeps you warm. So you have a blanket on, you put socks on, anytime you put a covering over yourself to stay warm, it keeps you warm by trapping that heat created by your muscles. Your blood also carries that heat around the body. Next job or function of the muscular system is movement facilitation. All facilitation means is it allows something. So your muscles allow movement. They create movement. So when your muscles shorten and pull on bones, that causes movement. I want you to remember, muscles only pull. They do not push. A muscle can only shorten. And when it relaxes, it lengthens again, but that's not going to create an action other than maybe just letting your arm fall down. But muscles create movement by shortening, so muscles only pull. So then why can you do a push-up, for example? That's a pushing motion. So how can you do a push-up? The reason you can do a push-up is because the muscles used in a push-up are muscles that are pulling on your lower arm to straighten your elbow and push you up. So even though the overall outcome or result of the movement is a pushing motion, the muscles involved are still pulling on bones that create that motion. Next function is structure. So it's different than bones. Bones give us our framework. They are kind of like the scaffolding of a house. So like when you see a building being built and you see all the wooden studs and the steel beams, that's kind of like your skeleton. But then once they put all the other stuff on top of that, that's kind of like your muscles and skin. So your muscles provide structure by keeping your skeleton held upright. So the contraction of your muscles keeps you upright and maintains your posture. Without your muscles, your skeleton would just fall to the ground. It couldn't hold itself upright. So you have to have muscles attached to your bones to actually have an upright posture. The next function of the muscles is the protection of internal organs. So especially your abdominal organs, because your heart and your lungs have your ribs around them, that's the main protection around those organs. But your abdominal organs, like your liver and your spleen and your pancreas and your intestines, those don't have bones surrounding them. So your abdominal muscles and your back muscles are very important for protecting those bones. When those muscles contract, the abdominal muscles, it causes them to harden or get harder than they were, and that offers protection to the underlying organs. So if someone were to come up to you and pretend like they're going to punch you in the stomach, what's your natural reaction? I want you to imagine someone's coming up to you right now and they're about to punch you in the stomach. What are you going to do? Most of you probably kind of pulled inward and kind of bent forward. Your muscles, as a reflex, will contract when they anticipate that you're going to get hit by something, and that contraction provides some protection. It hurts your muscle when it gets hit, when it's contracted. It can bruise the muscle and it's painful, but it's actually protecting your bones and other things that are found under your muscles. So that is what I just said. Sorry about that. Other muscles can contract prior to getting hit, which then protects the bones and soft tissues. The last function is kind of a tricky one to understand, so I'll do my best to explain it. If you still have questions, let me know. So the last function is muscles control the volume or the space of hollow organs and structures of your body. So you have a certain type of muscle called smooth muscle, and that's found surrounding our hollow organs, like your bladder and your intestines and your blood vessels. And so those have a hollow center. They're kind of like a sack or a hose. They have a wall, but then they're hollow in the middle. Well, those walls are made up of smooth muscle, and when those smooth muscles contract, it changes how big that hollow center is. So if you think about your bladder, for example, your urinary bladder, it's kind of like a balloon, and the balloon itself would be the smooth muscle. And then the inside of the balloon, where the air or the water is, would change size depending on what that muscle is doing. So with your bladder, your muscle relaxes and it fills up with urine, and then when it's time to go to the bathroom, that bladder muscle contracts and it makes the inside of that bladder smaller and forces the urine out. So you do need to know examples of these hollow structures. So your stomach and small intestines, your bladder, and your blood vessels are great examples of these hollow structures that the muscles constrict to cause things to move or empty out of those structures. And that is it for the functions of the muscular system.